Now, across the industrialised world, more women are working than ever before.
Here in the UK, the female workforce is growing. Women represent just under half of the total labour force. And
men's dominance of company boards is on the wane. There are now only 8 all-male boards in the FTSE 250.
Now, from 2007 to 2017, women's board representation in FTSE 100 companies increased from 11% to 28%. And while there's a way to go, it's a pretty good start.
However, while dressing for such posts can be easy for men, just a shirt and a suit really, isn't it? For women, well, it can be a bit more complicated, can't it? Which is where our next guest comes in.
Now, The Fold is a contemporary label founded by Polly McMaster in 2012 that embraces fashion and aims to inspire the modern professional woman. And Polly joins us now. Polly, so this is interesting because your background was in financial consulting and you decided that, you had to have a few outfits that looked the part, and that inspired you to start this business.
Yeah, that's right. So I was working in consulting and then I was working in private equity, very male-dominated field, and certainly found that I needed to be very confident at work, I needed to dress the part. And when I went to my wardrobe in the morning, I just found it not very inspiring. And actually, if you're trying to put your best self together in a really important presentation, going for a promotion or an interview, you need to feel that inner confidence.
And do you think that with women there is sort of an androgynous look that they need to go for, like a power dressing outfit would help them get on in terms of career ladders and career prospects?
I think certainly not androgynous. I think it's about, I think a power look is really about feeling empowered and feeling confident. And I think actually what's lovely is that over the past few years, I think that's taken a far broader scope than it used to be. I think the days of it being a traditional power suit have moved on. I think dresses are a fantastic way to be feminine but also be smart. But I think the universal theme that we've come across with working women and with being in touch with a lot of our customers is that they need to feel very put together and very appropriate. And if they get that right, it can actually be really positive in terms of even impact on their career and how they're perceived at work.
And in terms of inflation in the country, I mean, inflation's pretty high at the moment. It's just about outstripping income growth. Are you finding that a struggle in terms of when you're selling online? Have you seen an effect?
I think what we're seeing is we're trying to encourage women to consider their work wardrobes as an investment. So I think the women that we're dressing are instead of buying a lot of product, which is then quite disposable in their wardrobes, we're encouraging them to say, actually, this is quite an important part of how you should consider your work, and therefore they're prepared to actually invest behind something of better quality that will last them year on year. So it's a longer term decision and they can spend a bit more.
Polly, just in the spring of this year, you opened a flagship store in Chelsea in central London.
That's right.
It's quite interesting, given we talk often on the programme about the struggles that retail is facing. Do you still see that actually for a brand like yours, there is a value to be had in a high street store or not?
Absolutely. I think the really interesting part of retail today is trying to get the online world and the offline world working together. And what we see is that our store is a wonderful experience for a customer who maybe wants to spend a bit more time, get a bit more advice. So it's about the experience for her. Does she need it altered? Does she need to have somebody actually work with her on the needs of her wardrobe? But also it's a place where we can see a bit more community coming together. And I think online can be a bit more cold, whereas offline what we have is a group of businesswomen who often come in and network together, and we host events for them. And it's a wonderful way for them to even meet and do business.
And how much creative input do you have as as the founder of the business? Do you just leave it to the designers to come up with the items, or do you sometimes step in and say, I absolutely hate that one, you're not putting that in my shop?
I'm very involved, actually. I don't come from a purely creative background, though, so I've definitely got more of the business sense behind what we're trying to achieve. But I'm also the voice of the customer, and I think something that's really pertinent to our brand is that I want to stay very close to the needs of our customer. So I can translate that for our designer. So she'll come up with a beautiful print or a beautiful design, and I'll be able to say, well, let's think about where our businesswoman, where's she going to wear this? How is she going to put that look together? And how will she feel when she dresses in it? So it's that kind of conversation between us.
And just your tips for women that are watching this are thinking, right, I need to look powerful and strong today. What are the best things to wear if you want to kind of get that interview or about career promotion?
I think investing in what you're wearing and really seeing it as an important part of your day is really key, but something that makes you feel confident. So a fantastic dress that you can put on, nothing to worry about, and get it to fit you properly.
Blazers, are they good? Got a blazer on today?
Blazers are always good, particularly when you're dealing with hot outside, then cold inside if you need to cover up. But owning your look when you go to work.
Thanks very much, Polly. Polly McMaster.
Thanks, Polly.
Very much.